I'm JJ Barnes, and you are watching another episode of Creative Writing for Kids. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how to get over that initial fear you have about telling your story. Because sometimes you'll have an idea in your head, a concept, something you want to write about, or a character who you've created and completely fallen in love with and are dying to tell their story, but you're scared. You're scared that you'll start writing it and it won't be very good. You're scared that you as a writer just aren't good enough and the story deserves to be told in a way that you can't do. So I want to talk about that, because getting over that fear, over that very real scared feeling that you have that you aren't good enough, is a problem that so many writers face, and we all have to get through that fear and just tackle it, do it, write your story. I'm going to tell you a story myself about my first book. Because when I first came up for the story for my first book, Lily Prospero and the Magic Rabbit, I was about 20, maybe 19, but I was young, a lot younger than I am now. And I knew that I wanted to tell that story, but it didn't come out until I was 30, which tells you how many times I did it wrong. And that's okay. When I started writing it originally, Lily, the main character, I knew I wanted to tell her story. She was about 8, but now, in the actual book that's come out, she's 15. So that's a big change. It puts her in a whole new circumstance, a new school environment, new friendships, new relationships, dealing with like puberty hormones and feelings rather than child feelings. So the whole story had to change around the fact that Lily's age changed. I knew that I wanted to tell the story about a little girl whose drawings came to life, and that's still the same, and she had a magical pet rabbit called Jeffrey, which is still the same. But things had to change because when I wrote it, it just wasn't right. And I still wrote it. And I wrote it and I wrote it and I rewrote it and I wrote it again. Because if you're too scared to get it wrong, you'll never get it right. And you have to accept that the first time you write it, if that's your story, it won't be the best time. If you write it another time, it'll be a bit better. And if you write it again, it'll be a bit better still. And that's fine. And if you change what you write, if you want to write a completely different story, the thing is, the second story you write, no matter what story it is, will be better than the first. Because you learn and you improve. You get better. Now, if you're like me and you have a specific story that you want to tell, so specifically for me, it was the story of Lily and this power that she has to make drawings come to life, then accept, just put it aside, the fear that it won't be good enough, because the first time you write it, it might not be. And that's all right, mine wasn't either. And just keep trying it, keep working on it, changing things that need changing, adjusting what needs adjusting, because you can. There's no law to say you have to only write it once and it has to be perfect. No law at all. Write it 50 times if you need to. If that is your story, you just tell it till it's right. And if you are just full of ideas and you're just scared to get any of them out, start. Just write one. It might be terrible. Probably won't be, but it won't be the best it could possibly be. But then you read it and you look at where you went wrong and you learn, and then you tell another story. And then you tell another one and another one. And it's fine. Because the thing is, you are the only person in the entire world who can tell a story like you. The only person. Nobody else can do it. Because we all have different ideas, different things in our heads, different voices. The way you write that story will be completely and absolutely just you. And that's amazing. And if you're too scared to do it, nobody ever will. Even if you gave them all your characters and all your story ideas that you've got in your head, they won't write the same story as you. Because they'll send them in different places, or they'll see them in different ways, and they'll do different things. And that's fine, their story could be fine too, but it won't be yours. It won't be yours. You're the only person who can do yours. So you have to just accept that it might not be perfect the first time. Mine wasn't. Mine wasn't perfect the second or the third time either. Mine took a lot of work. I knew what I wanted to tell. I knew the people I wanted to write it about. I just couldn't get it right. So I worked on it, and I worked and I worked and I worked. And I worked a bit more. Because that was my story. And I was the person who needed to tell it. So you can do the same. Be like me and mess it up. And forgive yourself and move on and then mess it up again and go through that whole messy process. And just try, because if you don't, if you keep that story locked up in your head, like locked up right in here, nobody else gets to experience it. And that's a real shame, because it's going to be amazing. And it might take time, and it might be not that story, it might be a different one. But one day, you'll be able to get a story written that you're so proud of, that you can get everybody to read, and they will have a wonderful time too. But if you never try, if you're always too scared to start, then you're the only person who will ever have that in their head. And that's a real shame, because there's so much beauty and magic in sharing a story and letting other people experience it. So I think you should try, and I think you should try really hard not to be too scared to start. Remember, you are the only person who can tell your story in your way. So try and do it. I hope I have been able to encourage you and motivate you to give yourself a break, not expect perfection, and just have a wonderful time getting that story down and learning and learning and learning and getting better and writing more. Because it's an incredible thing to do. It's tons of fun, and it really is magic. So yeah, I hope you can try. Thank you very much for watching again. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I am trying to bring out a video every day of the week on school days about 9:30. So hopefully it can be part of your learning, but a really fun part, probably the best part, because the writing, the stories are the best of all schooling. I'm biased, but that's what I think. Don't forget, you can come to my website, which is www.jjbarnes.co.uk. I'm posting games and activities, challenges over there to help you grow your imagination, get better and more confident with your storytelling, and hopefully inspire you to finally tell that story. I also have a Facebook page, which is Creative Writing for Kids with JJ Barnes. Come over there, there's more things going over there. There's links to videos and games and activities. And you can come and share what you're doing and comment and talk to other people too, and see what everyone's getting up to. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back again soon. Bye.